What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tim Sports Talk. And today we're talking about the brand new signing of Sammis Reyes, Chilean international player brought in for the Washington football team. And he's an interesting dude. So first, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of background. He actually is a basketball player from Tulane, the University of Tulane, or Tulane University, whatever, one of those. And he was not really a good basketball player. He would average 6 points, 19 minutes a game, 55% completion or field goal percentage. Is actually pretty good. I mean, but I'm sure he's shooting mostly from inside the paint. Basically, a lot of layups, a lot of dunks, 4 rebounds a game. So he was an okay basketball player, and you can watch his highlights, and he didn't look overly athletic. He just looked like a kind of guy out there that was doing his thing, and he would make the layup when he was wide open. He would dunk the ball when he was inside. He'd have a good pass here or there, so he was okay. He didn't show like overly amounts of speed on the court or great. Even when he dunked, it wasn't like he was tomahawking it like crazy. It was just a nice simple dunk, right? So, but one good thing coming from a basketball player is basketball players, I have no fear for them to come in and play the receiving portion of a tight end. That is cake for a basketball player. Why? Because their hand-eye coordination is automatically through the roof. If you are a halfway decent basketball player, which he's actually a pretty decent basketball player at the high school level, he averaged 24 points a game, I think something like 10 rebounds. So the guy does have some skills, even at least at the high school level. He just didn't get a whole lot of playing time at the college level, and he was only 6'5", which 6'5" for a tight end is awesome, but for a basketball player is kind of like is really small for a big man, and that's kind of how he played at that level. He was more of like a forward rather than a guard, so he didn't handle the ball particularly much or anything like that. It was more of a inside guy, and 6'5" for an inside guy at the college level is not that tall. But he's 6'5" and around 260 pounds according to his pro day, and let's go ahead and get into that. So University of Florida held a pro day for international players that came out to try to make the NFL, and he succeeded very, very well. 6'5", 260 pounds. He had a 4.64 40-yard dash, reached 31 bench presses on the bench press, which is awesome. 40-inch vertical, fantastic. 10.5-inch broad jump is pretty good. Is not bad at all. Nothing wrong with that. So overall, he's a really good athlete. 4.64 is obviously not blazing. Everybody thinks of the Kyle Pitts nowadays or something like that, or Darren Waller, where these guys are just flying all over the place. And, he's not that fast, but 4.64 is plenty fast for a tight end. Antonio Gates ran a 4.6. Tony Gonzalez ran a 4.6. Aaron Hernandez ran a 4.6, which he can compare to Aaron Hernandez pretty good. He's a little bit bigger than Aaron Hernandez, but as far as an athlete goes, he can compete with Aaron Hernandez, which Aaron Hernandez in his day with Gronk and Tom Brady and the Patriots was obviously fantastic. Obviously, what happened off the field is horrible, but on the field, he was a really, really good player. So it's very intriguing. You can see he's built like a tank. The dude's built like he is strong. He is lean. He is strong. Like he is very, very well put together, which is good. But overall, I don't know what I'm going to get as a blocker, because the opposite of a basketball player in the receiving position, which I have no worries about, as a blocker, that's a lot different. Blocking is a very, very, very different technique than you would ever do in basketball. So I hope that is something he worked on, and we're going to have to coach him up to get him ready for the NFL level. But as far as a receiving tight end, this dude should be able to be very, very good. I'm not going to say he's elite or going to be elite. Obviously, he has the tools to be elite if he actually reached his full potential. A 6'5", 260-pound tight end running a 6'4", 31 bench presses, 40-inch vertical. All of those things can turn into an elite tight end. But he's a very, very intriguing prospect. And I'm very curious how they use him, and if he can actually survive training camp and make the team. I'd be very, very intrigued. I hope he turns into somebody that can also block, because I hate having a tight. Not hate. That's a strong word, because Jordan Reed wasn't bad. But it stinks to have a guy that's such a great athlete, that's such a great receiver, and then you have to take him out of the game on run plays, on first down, or stuff like this because goal line, well, not goal, you probably have him in goal line, but you know what I'm saying. You have to take him out on obvious run downs because he's just going to hold and he's not going to be a good blocker. And I hope that, I've never seen him play football. I don't know if there's any tape. I haven't found any tape on him. I know that he played basketball through college, so I don't know if this is something he's ever done before, if he's ever been familiar with. So he's going to have a big learning curve trying to block DNs, outside linebackers. He's strong enough to do it. He's big enough to do it, but it takes a talent and it takes a skill that he's going to have to work on to then be able to block at the NFL level. But overall, I'm very, very intrigued. And as far as does this mean that we do not draft a tight end, I think that pretty much means we don't draft a tight end. I would love to go get Tommy Trimble, somebody that's a very similar dude to him, a little bit shorter, 6'4", I believe like 250 or something like that. So he's a little bit smaller frame, but a similar 40, around 4'6", a good, solid athlete. But he is a monster in the run game. He can get in there and dig out those DNs, dig out the outside linebackers. So I would love to get Tommy Trimble. But this signing leads me to believe that we are not going to look at tight end in the draft, which is not a bad thing. It's not terrible because if Logan Thomas and this guy can hit as a good 1-2 punch, we could use those first, second, and 2/3 to really get go ahead and get our potential starting quarterback. We can get an offensive tackle because the tackle class is so deep, and we get a linebacker, maybe a corner could be interesting. So there's definitely some positions of need outside of tight end. Maybe a receiver. Maybe they like Emron St. Brown or maybe a Tylan Wallace that might be in there in the 3rd round that they can go ahead and scoop up if available and not feel pressure to have to get another tight end. So I overall, I'm going to give this a thumbs up. I don't know what the contract is, and I'm assuming it's very, very low. He hasn't played football before. He's never been in the NFL, so I'm assuming this is some sort of minimum, no more than $1 million, which is not going to hurt the cap whatsoever. So I'm not worried about the contract really at all. So overall, this is a very, very, very good signing, and it's an intriguing signing. It's a low floor. He could completely bust, but a pretty darn high ceiling. I'm not going to lie. So very good grab, honestly, from Ron Rivera and company to scoop this guy up. It's forward thinking. It's an international player. It's a guy that's not played a lot of football, so you're kind of taking a chance, and it's kind of good to see. It should be a situation where low risk, super high reward. So awesome. But you guys let me know what you guys think of the signing below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Also, there is a Discord link in the description below. Hop in our Discord and come talk some football. And last but not least, there are donation links in the description below. If you feel so kind, you could donate to the channel. We're almost to that 1,000. Look at that. Look at that number. 990. We are 10 away from the 1K. 10 away from the 1K. Come on, hit that sub button. Help me out. Get to that 1K. It's so important. It's so huge. It's a great milestone. Thank you guys all who have already subscribed and stuck around to the end. And until next time, see ya!